Okay, so in this video, what we're going to talk about is where you need to think about trying to hit the breaking ball. Now, one thing that I see hitters do or I see preached is really just trying to hit the ball to the opposite field. I'm doing it in this video, in fact, but once you see that breaking ball, to try to hit that to the opposite field. Now, that's not a terrible approach. One of the things that definitely helps you do is keep your front side on maybe a little bit longer, maybe just mentally understanding, hey, I've got to stay closed, I've got to stay behind. And if that works for you, that's great. One thing I want you to understand, though, is I don't want you to just dump every breaking ball you get into the opposite field. Biggest reason being that just hitting the ball just to the, just dumping the ball in the opposite field, you're losing a lot of power. It's not an aggressive swing, and you're going to be leaving yourself vulnerable to a lot of breaking pitches that end up in here. These pitches, to actually hit those balls to the opposite field power, is really, really difficult. So, you still want to stick with hitting the ball where it's going to be pitched with the breaking balls. And everything that I would do is just to try to really drive that ball, from gap to gap back through the middle of the field. So especially on these inside pitches, on these inside pitches right here, I'm trying to hit this ball to left center. Okay, so these are going to be more left center pitches over here in this 1-4 gap in this turquoise. These are going to be pitches I'm trying to drive out of the ballpark or just a hard line drive to left center field. These, right dead through the middle of the field, and then these I'm trying to take to right center. So this is down the middle, and these are going to be outside pitches, and I would be trying to literally hit the ball as hard as I could through the middle of the field, not just necessarily dump the ball to the opposite field. I think that's a big mistake that a lot of hitters make, especially when they're starting to learn how to hit a curveball. That's just something maybe they'll have success with it one or two times, and then that becomes a staple. It becomes a staple of their approach to play, and I think that's a big mistake. I think you want to still approach the curveball the same way that you do a fastball and try to absolutely hammer it through the middle of the field. And when you have, when you think about these pitches in here, if you turn and you keep your hands inside the ball and you turn on it on a breaking ball that starts at you and ends up breaking into one of these positions right here, you can still hit that with backspin and you can drive it and you can hit it over the outfielder's head, and you can get that ball to carry out of the park to left field. Okay, even these pitches, if the pitcher ends up throwing it at 2, 5, or 8, if your swing is on plane, like we talked about in the ABCs of the 5-tool hitter, you could still even actually pull these balls. The biggest thing is making sure that no matter where we hit the ball, we're staying aggressive, we're staying inside the baseball, and our swing is on plane. And if you haven't yet, make sure you head over to the ABCs of the 5-tool hitter. You get that as a free bonus. It covers exactly what you need to do to learn how to stay on plane, to get that bat on plane, and to be able to plane the pitch out. Okay, so, biggest thing I wanted to harp on in this video, I know I've said it a couple times, don't just dump everything in right field. We want to still hammer that curveball back through the box, take that aggressive swing, use bat speed, try to drive the ball, and do not be afraid to hit that ball to all fields, to hit that ball where it is pitched, okay? And where you run into a lot of mistakes, or where guys will make a lot of mistakes, is on these inside pitches. They'll really try to turn, and they don't keep their hands inside the ball, and that's where you're going to get those hands away from the body swings, and a lot of those big hop ground balls when you're in these situations. So as long as you keep your hands inside the baseball and you're driving that ball, and you have a lot of backspin, or not a lot of backspin, you have a lot of true spin, meaning that you're making direct contact with direct barrel path, you're going to be in good shape with these breaking balls.